evening, you fucking marks. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be the first episode of our Strong Style Wrestling podcast.
Yes, we were thinking of a name, and that wasn't taken.
Yeah, so we're gonna try that. We're kind of going off of the top of our heads
on this first episode.
On this first episode,
just a little introduction.
We're not going to be talking about or reviewing Raw, SmackDown, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor weekly.
No, we'll talk about.
I don't have the time or the goddamn patience for it.
We're not. We will openly admit we're not too big of fans of modern day wrestling. We still watch it from time to time, just because it's on, maybe. But we have like no desire to cover Raw, SmackDown, or any of that shit. We might come on here and cover a Royal Rumble, a WrestleMania, a SummerSlam, a premium event as they call them these days. Maybe a few AEW special pay-per-view shows, maybe. But most of our stuff are going to be like old school wrestling reviews.
Yeah. Your NWA, AWA, Mid-South, WWF, WWF, WCW, definitely a lot of WCW, because I'm a huge WCW fan. I grew up in the South, so naturally, you're a WCW fan.
Yeah, we were fortunate to grow up in the 90s where
during the Monday night, the Monday Night Wars.
The Monday Night Wars, and it wasn't like how it was in the 70s or the 80s where you actually had to be from that territory or be around that territory to see it.
Right.
Everything was on television when we grew up, pretty much.
Right.
Even 2:00 in the morning trying to find where the fuck ECW's on.
Oh my god, dude! I remember staying up till like 3:00 in the fucking morning just to try to get like an hour's worth of ECW.
Yeah, and I even remember in the mid-2000s where we had to do that to watch TNA.
Oh yeah, I remember that too. The early pioneer days of TNA, but
yeah, we're going to talk about like the old in your house pay-per-views. We're going to talk about old WrestleManias. We're going to do top 10s, top 5s. We're going to tell you the wrestlers that we enjoy watching. We're going to have a countdown of wrestlers that we don't enjoy.
Wrestlers we definitely do enjoy.
Yeah, it's just going to be
people that are definitely in the works of being something special, like they have future potential of being superstars.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun. If you like to hear about. I know there's tons of people that do this. There's a lot of people on YouTube. Wrestling with Regret is a big one on there where, he does pay-per-view, old school pay-per-view reviews. There's another one called Wrestling Biographies that's pretty good. He does a segment called Reliving the War. So, we've always been at the core, we're still huge wrestling fans. We're just not huge modern-day wrestling fans. But
right.
If something awesome happens or if something of hot topic comes about, we'll definitely talk about it. But we have another podcast called A Horrible Podcast. We talk about horror movies. We're very passionate about that. So this podcast will be no different. You'll hear strong opinions.
Definitely. You'll probably think that we're on the lines of Mr. Corny himself. But I don't disagree with everything, and I don't agree with everything he says.
Yeah, we're going to give you our total honesty without influence or anything like that. We're going to give you our God's honest truth about how we feel about how a match goes and what we rate it on and what we look for into what makes a good match or whatever.
-5 stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dave Meltzer, I don't know if he would ever hear this, but fuck you, I hate you.
Yeah, you used to be credible, at least back in the day, but everybody knows that you're AEW's best kept secret.
Yeah, definitely he's on the payroll somewhere.
Yeah, you can't be a professional wrestling writer, and only favor certain things. So, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him in the butt.
Fuck him in the butt.
Fuck him in the butt. Not a fan. Not a fan.
No, not a fan. I mean, the best thing that he can do is come out with the AEW magazine because,
Might as well.
He'll make everybody look good because he likes everybody because he's friends with them.
Pretty much. I mean, they're in his back pocket. I don't give a fuck what he says.
No, but yeah, it's going to be fun. We don't know exactly what the first topic will be. We don't know if it's going to be a countdown. We don't know if it's going to be a pay-per-view review. We don't know if it's going to be we don't know yet. We're still working on it. We just wanted to do this and basically tell you to look forward to it.
Yeah, pretty much, give you a little introduction to what we're going to be doing here within the next couple weeks. We're going to be brainstorming. I mean, the Rumble's right around the corner.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble's right around the corner.
We might do pay-per-view reviews because that's a little bit easier to do versus watching SmackDown and Raw every fucking week.
Yeah, we do have Peacock. We can go back and watch it if we want to, but
I'm not paying $70 for AEW pay-per-view.
No, we'll more than likely we'll just kind of discuss.
Stream it for free.
Yeah. More than likely, we'll just kind of discuss the results of all that shit. But just to give you a feeling of how we are, we will tell you our favorite wrestler of all time right now.
Okay, that sounds pretty good to me.
Well, my favorite wrestler of all time is Sting.
Hard not to go with Sting.
Yeah. He was my first hero. Everybody else was into Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. My guy was Sting because Sting had everything that those guys had, but he was 10 times better in the ring because he learned from guys like Arn Anderson and Ric Flair, and he learned how to wrestle, and he learned how to be the ultimate babyface.
Right.
And that was very impressionable as a kid. And, it's funny. I'm 35 years old. I've been watching him since I was born, and he's still out there doing his thing.
Yeah. Not so good nowadays, but still better than
oh, dude, he's still
over half of AEW's roster.
Yeah, he's still fucking flying off of shit and diving off of shit. So,
yeah.
He's almost 60.
Yeah, Grandpa still got it.
So, I mean, he's better than most guys that, got into their 40s and can't even fucking get off their feet.
Yeah. CM Punk. Man, all-time favorite wrestler. I've got so many that I like. I'm always going to pick the person that captured, my imagination and I thought was larger than life. And I'm not talking about Hulk Hogan. It's got to be Macho Man Randy Savage. This guy was just captivating on the mic. Even if he was going off the top with the most random shit, but when he got in the ring, it was just fucking flawless. It was beautiful. It was like watching somebody paint a Picasso. I mean, it was just jaw-dropping. Like, you had no...
What?
Fucking, I hate you. I mean, you had to watch it because it was just so effortless.
Yeah, he was, they referred to Kofi Kingston as Controlled Fury
Controlled Fury.
Yeah.
They call him that? Okay.
Well, they've called him that in the past.
Okay.
They said that his offense is controlled fury, and
Okay.
I think that can be said for Macho Man. Like, he was out of control, but he was in control the whole time.
Right.
So
That makes sense. I agree with that. But as a kid, you know, like, he captivated me. But I mean, honestly, fucking Goldberg.
yeah, random fact: Macho Man Randy Savage won the World Wrestling Federation Championship for the first time the year we were born,
Yeah.
1988.
Still, growing up, we got to watch him though because I mean, you know, he was a huge part of WCW, and you know, Goldberg always captivated me. Chris Benoit, Arn Anderson, you're very technical wrestlers. It's hard also not to say Kurt Angle
Absolutely.
is in my top.
It'd be
Early Brock Lesnar.
It'd be interesting. We'll probably do a podcast on like our top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time, and we'll go through each one of them and you know, tell why we like them. And this was just a little taste of what you'll get to come. And by the way, it is called Strong Style, and that's normally associated with the Japanese Strong Style. We know our shit. Don't get it wrong, but we're sticking with pretty much the American promotions. We might mention, you know, a Kabashi or a Liger or a Masawa every now and then. Kenta, old school Nakamura, whatever. We might mention them every once in a while, but we're sticking on, you know, what most of you guys would probably know better, which is that, you know, ECW, WCW, WWF/E style. So
yeah, and we definitely have watched our fair share of New Japan, Noah, All Pro Wrestling, Dynamite.
Yeah, we've seen it all. I mean, we've seen the Japanese exploding death matches. We've seen the Masawa, Kabashi. It's not even a trilogy. It's more like, you know, I don't know how many times they fought each other, but we've seen all of them.
Yeah, it's,
you know,
just one of those amazing feuds that, you know, never gets old.
Yeah, and you know, it'd be interesting, you know, like I said, when we actually do our list or whatever, it's going to be a variety in there. You know, we're going to have guys from Japan, we're going to have guys from Canada, we're going to have American wrestlers, we're going to have, you know, we're not going to be your, you know, mainstream. Only talk about mainstream people. You know,
right.
We are wrestling fans. You know, growing up, for me personally, it was never WCW or WWF. It was never that. Even though I was more of a WCW fan, it was never that for me. I was a wrestling fan. If wrestling was on, I'm watching it. I don't care what company it's in.
Right.
So
no, I wanted to know who I was watching, so I could get further into it. Like, who is this person? Like, why should I care for this person? Okay, now I care for this person. All right, what's their entrance music? You know.
Yeah, it was very easy for me to get into professional wrestling. I mean, it was, you know, we were the perfect age for that Attitude Era boom period. So we have a lot of interesting opinions coming up.
Yeah, definitely. I guess to end on a high introduction note, what do you think, like, what is your current take on MJF in AEW as champion?
I think MJF is everything that a company needs as far as somebody to carry the title. He's more so of a Ted DiBiase, Ric Flair type of champion, where he can carry it with class. You can put him in the ring. You know what? I think another good one to compare him to is Nick Bockwinkel.
Oh, no shit.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
You can put him in the ring with anybody. He's not going to do any crazy stuff. He does all the basics, but every basic thing that he does works.
Right.
And it's all about talking the people into the building. It's all about getting their emotions, the fact that you don't know if he's shooting or if he's, doing his scripted stuff, which is always great, especially when you know the insides and outs of wrestling these days. It's much easier to fool fans that still believe, which is, MJF can make even the smart marks question their shit sometimes. So I think any company would be glad to have him. Yeah. And I think that he's definitely a guy that you want to build around your company at some point. Personally, for me, I think that he's finally getting the push and the recognition now. But he had it, whatever it is, he had it day one. I don't care how many flips you can do in a ring. He's head and shoulders better than any young talent in AEW right now. He was back then. He is now. He is the guy. Like, you can have a lot of great wrestlers, but you can only have one, the man. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with that.
Back in the day, you had The Undertaker. Shut up. I ain't finished. Back in the day, you had The Undertaker, you had The Rock, you had Triple H, you had Mankind, but you only had one Stone Cold, and everybody knew that these guys were cool, but he was the man, and that's what MJF is to me. You may talk.
I fucking hate you. Anyway, my thing about him is that we always hear that kayfabe's dead, right? But this is the man that lives and breathes kayfabe, right?
Yeah.
To the point where the smart marks question, is he for real? Does he believe this? And then, of course, you've got your toothless hillbillies that's like, moo, hey, fuck that guy. He's an asshole. Well, yeah, he's an asshole. He's playing an asshole. So is kayfabe dead? Or is it just that people say it's dead so they don't have to put any effort into it?
Well, I think a lot of wrestlers these days don't go as far as MJF because they're scared to be called out on social media.
I mean, that's a good point.
MJF doesn't give a shit. Unless he gets caught in a sexual scandal like the Velveteen Dream.
Or Mr. Dick Flip.
Yeah. Or Vince McMahon.
He got his fingers caught in a cookie jar.
Which is, stupid. I don't think that somebody should be shamed for getting some strange. But,
no, they should be ashamed for paying for it and then telling them to keep their mouth shut.
Well, fuck it.
We're not here to talk about that shit.
No,
anyway,
we're not here to talk about it.
We're talking about these lazy fucking pro wrestlers that don't want to put any effort in, or are scared to put in effort to make you fucking believe in what you're watching.
Yeah, because they keep beating it into everybody's head. Well, everybody knows it's a work anyway, so why even try? Okay, but at least still have some pride in what you do. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, if you work at McDonald's and you flip fries,
burgers.
Well, you could flip them when they're in the thing, right?
No, you deep fry them. You put them in the basket.
I know. Well, every time I fucking deep fry something, I take it out of the deep fryer and I shake it.
You flip the fries, son.
Okay, you shake the fries and you fucking flip the burgers. You shake the
fries and you flip the burgers.
But, you might think that, well, this is a shitty job and this is crap, but, there's still a paying customer out there that wants a good hamburger and good french fries.
Right.
So, at least take pride in what you do,
Yeah.
If that's where you have to start off at, to get to your end goal, then, do the best you can. And
yeah, exactly. Put a little pride in your work. Put a little pride in yourself.
That's why I like MJF.
And hence why he's fucking popular. Because he puts time, effort, pride. He makes you fucking believe the story that he is portraying.
Right. And, he's a lost breed. I would say he's a dying breed, but it seems like all the old school guys have died anyway. He's a lost breed in today's flippity bullshit.
Exactly. And then I'm going to piggyback off into Roman Reigns, and this is the end of the introduction episode. Is we're going to talk about the WWE champion because they have a lot in common. Because Roman Reigns, despite what you say, puts forth the effort. You believe that Roman Reigns right now is the biggest asshole on planet Earth.
Yeah. And, he might get some shit for not being the greatest wrestler. What he does in the ring is absolutely fine. There's nothing that he does in the ring that isn't, like, you can't say, oh, well, that sucked, this sucked, that sucked. No, he might not, he might not have a huge arsenal, but what he does
is solid,
is working for him.
Right.
And the fact is that what MJF does is make smart marks believe that it might be real. What Roman Reigns does is he takes the ones that still think it's real, and he's the one that they cater to.
Right.
Like the foreign fans in India that doesn't have a computer.
Oh my God, I hate that son of a bitch.
Oh my God, Roman Reigns, he's not the best because he always cheats. Like, yeah, he sucks because he cheats and can't win on his own.
Wink,
God.
wink.
Yeah, I know how deep of a conversation I can go with you.
Yeah.
But, he plays to that audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I'm not saying that he's the best, but I'm saying for his role right now,
he lives it. He breathes it.
Yeah, he's decent. I like MJF better at his role, but
right.
That's besides the point.
MJF has less of a filter, though.
Yeah, he has less of a filter, and he
because
can be more of himself.
Tony Khan isn't going to tell him what he can and can't do.
Apparently, Tony Khan doesn't tell anybody what they can and can't do.
Yeah, well, it shows.
Yeah, but I think that's a pretty good introduction. That gives people a feeling of where our stuff's going to go. Our next couple episodes will be more organized and be more focused.
Yeah,
we were kind of all over the place today, but
this is just kind of the fun introduction episode. Well, on that note, we want to say thank you for tuning in. I'm not gonna give you no fancy fucking sign off. I'm Taylor,
and I'm Thunder, and he kicked out. He kicked out. He kicked out.
By God, that man has a family. That man